So Mnemonic here, back once again with an episode of The Tea Drinker, and today we're going to look at leaf teas. I got these off Amazon, but they do have their own website. I'll put links down below. So I've got 12 different flavours and varieties. These are more sort of tea and sort of tea based beverages. These are more sort of herbal teas and tisanes. So let's open it up and see what we have in the packets. This is going to be difficult. So these are a loose leaf tea. So I'm going to have to get my infusers out, my little star-shaped infusers. And they've got these lovely little snuff box type things. They're 2 portions each. And you just slide them. So there you go. Just be very careful not to spill anything. So this is, there we go. This is organic green tea, or taste of nature. So there we go. We have black tea scented with lychee. We have black tea from the roof of the world. So this is a Himalayan blend. We have organic white tea. We have organic blue tea, which I've not heard of before, with exotic wood notes. And black tea scented with rose petals. I have had rose flavoured teas before. Some of them have been a bit too overly floral. I have noticed that, but hopefully this isn't going to be too floral. So on this side we have peppermint infusion, we have balancing infusion, which is an Ayurveda herbal infusion, which is I've had an Ayurveda before, which is kind of an Indian herbal mix. It's kind of a bit like masala chai or something like that, but not exactly that. It might have like holy basil in it or something. So it'll probably have a very sort of spicy flavour to it. And we've got refreshing infusion with a peppery bite. So that's going to be quite nice. I don't know if that's going to be like hot on the mouth. And we have a nice chamomile infusion and a verbena. I always like a bit of lemon verbena, that's kind of nice. I've had drinks with lemon and verbena in it, so that's kind of a digestive one. And we have rooibos or red bush, which is, you know, an alternative caffeine-free tea, so it's kind of relaxing. Okay, so we're going to do this in 2 halves, 6 varieties in each. So I'm going to set up for the teas, and going to dig out the old infusers, put a little portion in each. So let's brew up and have our first look. Okay, so we've had these 6 teas brewing for a few minutes. It does say about 3 to 5 minutes on the packaging recommended brew time. So we're going to have a look at it. So we've got the organic green tea here, and it's a lovely sort of honey, sort of orangey yellow colour, and sort of lovely sort of sunshine glow to it. The organic white tea is also a sort of yellowish colour, but it's slightly a shade lighter, shade or 2 lighter than the green tea. A sort of more sort of noon yellow, not sort of morning yellow type shade I think we have there. Now we have the blue tea, which is a sort of dark brown orange, not quite mahogany colour, more like sort of honey as well, like a darker honey colour. I'm looking forward to trying that because it says it's got like wood notes in it. We have the black tea from the Roof of the World, the Himalayan, which is a nice sort of dark brown, slightly reddish colour. I'd say sort of borderline mahogany colour. And we have the two black teas. We have the Lychee, which is a nice sort of chocolatey brown colour, and the rose petal, which is slightly redder in colour, I'd say, less sort of dark brown, sort of going more towards mahogany. And there's a lovely floral smell coming from that. It's the first thing when I set my camera on it and sort of gave it a bit of a stir. Lovely floral rose coloured scent. I hope, however, with this one that the floral taste isn't going to be too overwhelming, because that is sometimes what ruins a sort of floral infusion. So, okay, we've had a good look at these teas. Now let us set up for the taste test. Okay, so we're going to kick things off with the organic green tea. You can see that. Okay, let's give this a bit of a sniff. It's got a slight fruitiness to it. It's very sort of strong, oniony, brothy, meadowy. There's an earthiness to it, but it smells very, very strong of sort of tea. It's got that oomph to it. So it's got a lovely colour. It's got a sort of sunsetty, sort of orangey yellow colour. So let's give this a taste. Well, that's strong, quite bitter. So a real sort of mouth kicker, this one. Wow, that is a strong cup of tea. That is something that would definitely kick you out of bed in the morning, get you up, get you started, you know. It's quite bitter. It's got a bitter aftertaste that lasts quite a while. And it's got a sort of an unusual mouthfeel. So it is rather strong, but it's something you probably want first thing in the morning. Okay, so the next one is the organic white tea, which is described as being delicate and silky. Again, sort of shade lighter than the green tea. It's not so pungent. It has a sort of very delicate aroma to it, almost sort of fruity, floral. Not entirely sure. There's sort of spring flower, sort of very sort of subtle aroma, like sort of spring flowers in the rain when you're at a distance. Okay, let's give this a taste. It's not so strong, it's not so bitter. It does have that sort of subtle floral taste to it. There's a slight fruitiness to it, slightly like creamed raspberries, I think. Sort of the taste you get from raspberries and cream. It's not quite raspberries, it's not quite cream, but there's definitely sort of fruitiness to it. That is lovely. Okay, so now we're going to try the organic blue tea. Okay, which does have exotic wood notes. So I'm sort of looking forward to trying this one. It does have exotic woody smell, slightly tobacco like smell as well. Well, I used to smoke. I occasionally had like cigars when I did smoke. And it does smell like a sort of freshly opened cigar. So it's more sort of tobacco-y smell than a wood smell. But maybe some wood shavings. There's definitely a texture to the aroma. It's got sort of a malty, almost sort of organic chocolate taste to it. There's definitely sort of a malty taste to it. Sort of like those esoteric chocolates that cost a fortune. Cocoa. It's sort of that pricey sort of cocoa taste to it. Again, getting a bit of this sort of tobacco, sort of cigar kind of smoke taste. This is really nice. Not what I was expecting at all. I am pleasantly surprised by that. So now we have the black tea. And this is a Himalayan blend from the roof of the world. So let's have the smell of this. Oh, again, slightly floral. It's not a very strong aroma. Sort of spring flowers definitely come to mind. Again, sort of oniony broth. Let's give it a taste. It has a bitterness to it. This is quite bitter. It has a sort of brothy quality, but the aftertaste is quite strong. It has a very dry mouthfeel. It washes over your tongue and then dries it out. It's quite bitter. Again, like the organic green tea, it would definitely, it has a strength to it that would be good in a sort of morning wake you up kind of blend. Okay, now we're going on to other black tea varieties. This is black tea, which is scented with lychee. I'm not very fond of lychees. They do taste nice. They do kind of taste a bit sort of raspberry-like, but they kind of look like eyeballs when you peel them off. They're a kind of very high maintenance fruit because they've got the spiky skin on it, and they do look a lot like eyeballs, and they've got the big seed in the middle of it. But they do taste quite nice, so I'm hoping this tea is going to have a good aroma and quite a good taste to it. So let's give it a go. Oh wow, that does smell exactly like lychee. Oh wow, I haven't had lychees in ages, but that's just completely brought it back. The beautiful sweet fruitiness of the lychee. That is gorgeous smell. Oh wow, that is lychee. That is. If you put this under my nose and didn't tell me it was tea, I would immediately think it was lychee. Oh wow, that is so sweet and fruity and floral, and it is immediately it is what it literally says what it is in the tin. It is lychee. Let's give it a The taste is more subtle than the aroma, I must say. There is a fruitiness there, but the black tea is more dominant. But it does have that lychee taste. Now the black tea and the lychee taste doesn't quite gel, but it's by no means unpleasant. I will grant you that. That was a lovely aroma tea. Could have done better with the taste though. Now the last in this section, we have black tea scented with rose petals. Now I've had flower scented tea before, and I'm just a little bit worried that this might be overly floral. So let's give it a smell. It's quite floral. Definitely a hit of rose petals. Actually more like rose water than actual rose petals. Sort of like what you'd put in Turkish Delight. So I'm hoping this is not going to be too overly floral, otherwise it can end up like tasting like soap or other cosmetics. So let's give it a taste. And that's quite subtle actually. Again, like the lychee, it's the aroma that's more pungent than the taste. That is. I mean, there's a floral quality to the tea, but it's not overwhelming. It's actually quite pleasant. You know, it's not too soapy. There's like a good blend between the tea taste and the floral notes. So that is actually, for a floral infusion, for a rose petal infusion, that is one of the better ones that I've tasted. So that was the first half of the leaf tea taste test. I'm going to set up again for the more infusions, herbal tea varieties, but for the time being, I would recommend the blue tea with the exotic wood notes, because that was a lovely malty, chocolatey experience. Okay, so let's move on to the next 60s. Okay, we're back once again with the leaf tea infusions selection, and this is sort of more sort of tisanes and herbal teas and caffeine free varieties. So we've got rooibos or red bush tea. There's a lovely herbal earthy scent coming from this. We've got chamomile, and I can also smell the sort of honey floral sweetness coming from that. We have peppermint. Unusually it's quite light for a peppermint, essentially, even though we have been brewing it for a couple of minutes. We have an Ayurveda. I'm hoping I pronounced that Ayurveda infusion, which is going to be quite spicy, lots of cardamom and sort of spiciness in that. We have verbena. There's another one like peppermint, very good for digestion. And last of all, we have a peppery concoction. A bit vague, but it does say it's a refreshing infusion with peppery bite. So kind of looking forward to trying that one. I don't know if it's like pepper as in pepper or chili pepper, but whatever it is, I'm willing to give it a try. So let's put the camera on the tripod and go in for our taste test. Okay, we're going to start with the organic rooibos infusion. Nice sort of dark red mahogany colour. Beautiful earthy scent, almost tobacco-y sort of aroma. Lovely rooibos taste, nice and smooth. Got that herbal earthiness to it. It's not too strong, it's a nice smooth brew. Very nice infusion. So next of all we have the chamomile. So sort of very light yellowy colour, sort of lemony yellow. Glorious honey floral scent immediately hitting you. Lovely, smooth, floral sweetness, honey sweetness, lovely, lovely chamomile blend. There we go. Now we have, this is a peppermint infusion. I think it's made with real peppermint leaves as well. Usually with mint infusions they're usually quite dark, but this is sort of a dark orange colour, and it's a glorious peppermint smell. It's absolutely lovely. It's almost confectionery style peppermint. Let's have a taste. That's lovely peppermint. Coats the tongue quite easily. It's not oily. It's quite refreshing. It's almost tingly on the tongue a little bit. That is a good peppermint infusion. Next we have the Ayurveda infusion. This is going to be quite a spicy brew. Oh, it's a lovely smell. I can smell cinnamon, definitely cardamom, some other things as well. Lots of spices in this. Lovely Christmassy sort of fruitcake smell to this. Let's have a sip. It's a lovely, lovely spicy blend, but it's got licorice root in it, and you know my thoughts on licorice root. It's quite overpowering, and it has that slightly overly sweet taste about it, which is a pity because it has such a lovely smell, this. But as again with a lot of these blends, these sort of herbal blends, the licorice root does actually, you know, dominate. It is a very strong taste, and if you have something in that, odds on it's going to dominate the taste at some point. So that's a pity, a very pity, great pity that. So here we have Verbena. Sort of lovely sort of borderline lemon orange colour. So the smell not unlike lemongrass actually. Sort of very reminiscent of Thai cookery. The taste as well, lots of citrus notes, very like lemongrass. I noticed, oh yes, that's very refreshing, and lemony, grassy, springy, sort of floral, fruity, it's all in there. And last of all we have the peppery bite infusion. So let's see what this little thing tastes like then. Interesting smell. I'm a bit worried because it does smell a bit like it's got licorice root in. There's definitely a licorice taste to this. Not really getting anything peppery, to be honest. It's a bit citrusy as well. I'm not really getting anything sort of peppery about that. It's definitely tasting some licorice root in there. I don't know. So a little disappointing with that one. Like I said, infusions with licorice root do tend to end up being dominated by the flavour and aroma of licorice root. So the thing about licorice root, you have to be very careful with it. Also, it's not good if you're if you suffer from hypertension. You have to be careful. Of course, it's a very good digestive plant. You know, it helps. It's mixed with like other digestives like peppermint. Of course, it'll help you out if you're having a little sort of bit of indigestion. But on the whole, I tend to try and avoid it because it is quite strong flavoured and will dominate anything that it's infused with. Okay, my little rant about licorice root over there. Not as good as the first batch, I don't think. There was some nice ones, the rooibos and the peppermint. But overall, somewhat disappointing. I think I'd prefer with the more sort of standard tea combinations, infusions, that sort of thing. So out of this lot, out of the leaf tea selections that I bought, I definitely liked the blue tea with the smoky and wood notes. That was a lovely flavour of tea, so I'd highly recommend this. I'll be posting some links down below so that you know, you can go online, you can buy it and try it out for yourself. Like I said, definitely try the blue tea with the wood notes. And yeah, so that was another video from the Tea Drinker. I've been Sue Mnemonic. Thank you for watching. I will see you again in the next video.